The doctor said it was like stabbing the baby in the heart. One said that he was so disturbed he went into the corridor afterwards and was sick. We now know what is actually happening in late-term abortions in Ireland because the doctors themselves have told us what is happening. And what they have said is every bit as shocking and disturbing as heartbreaking as you would imagine. In a study from UCC of 10 specialists who are performing late-term abortions in Ireland, one doctor described it as stabbing a baby in the heart. But there was worse to come. The study also said that some doctors were refusing to provide care to babies born alive after late-term abortion. This is all absolutely horrifying. And we were told by repeal campaigners like Dr. Peter Boylan and then Minister for Health Simon Harris that this would never happen. Remember that? Remember when pro-life people were called liars for pointing out that the new abortion regime after repeal of the 8th would allow for late-term abortion?
We also want to make sure that we do, of course, protect potential life. And that's why after 12 weeks, abortion will be illegal.
It's very clear now who was telling the truth in the referendum. This is the paper, published in the British Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology and written by 3 Irish medics. The purpose of this study seems obvious. The authors want late-term abortions to also be made available for less serious disabilities. But, and perhaps unwittingly, they have also laid bare some of the full horror of what happens in a late-term abortion in Ireland. You see, there is no magic wand. As the paper itself points out, when the baby has a severe condition, there is no gestational limit for abortion in Ireland. The baby has to be killed in an abortion. And when you have a 5 or 6 or even a 7-month preborn child, that's a sickening procedure. Don't take my word for it. Listen to what the doctors say. It is, in their words, brutal, awful, emotionally difficult. It's like stabbing a baby in the heart. Another says, I remember getting sick out in the corridors afterwards because I thought it was such an awful procedure and so dreadful. These doctors are talking about feticide, when a baby is given a lethal injection of potassium chloride into the heart, a procedure written up as best practice for late-term abortion by the Royal College of Obstetrics and Gynecology in Britain. We know that potassium chloride is used to execute prisoners on death row, and that it is believed to be so painful a death that an anaesthetic and/or a paralytic is administered to the prisoner being put to death. Sadly, no such guidelines exist to ensure that preborn babies receive pain relief before their lethal injection. In fact, when some TDs tried to get Simon Harris to ensure that pain relief would be given in late-term abortions, he refused. But there's another issue equally as horrifying. The paper explains that sometimes feticide, the lethal injection, is not performed, and this might lead to babies surviving abortion, and that, for the abortion providers, created a problem. In their own words, the doctors are unclear as to who will look after these babies if a baby is born alive following the termination of pregnancy by induction of labour and without feticide. It's right there in black and white. Conflict with colleagues was experienced regarding the provision of feticide and palliative care to infants born alive following TOP, termination of pregnancy, with doctors left begging for support. The purpose of an abortion, of course, is to end the baby's life. When a baby survives, that's a failed abortion. So doctors don't want to help these babies survive, but they want other doctors to give them palliative care. It would make you weep for humanity. How can we have become so cruel, so indifferent to the suffering of those who are hidden away and most helpless? If this was any other story about abortion, it would of course be front page news and featured on the Late Late Show. But because it shines a light on the cruelty of abortion and the false claims of repeal campaigners, it is being buried by the media. There is one ray of light, however, in the disturbing reading of that UCC paper. Abortion providers do acknowledge that they face widespread opposition from other doctors, in particular from neonatologists who care for babies after birth. Half of the participants shared feelings of disapproval and disrespect from local, national and retired colleagues, the paper notes. The reluctance of Irish doctors to embrace abortion is a glimmer of hope in this grim paper, which is utterly indifferent to the humanity of the little person whose life is being summarily ended. But now we know the truth about late-term abortion in Ireland, or more accurately, the truth has been confirmed. And so we need you to take action. Whether you voted yes or no to repealing the 8th, almost no one, except abortion campaigners, wants babies suffering as they are being put to death, or left gasping for breath, even if they are born alive after an abortion. The media are burying this story because they don't want you to know what is happening. Don't let the truth be buried. Speak up now, today. Ring your TD and tell them to stop feticide from happening and to change the law, which allows unborn babies, in the words of the doctors who are doing this, to be stabbed in the heart. See more at thelifeinstitute.net. Like and share this video to get the truth known. Thank you.